The UNHS Hypatia gleamed in the void, a pristine white beacon against the star-flecked darkness. Red crosses adorned its hull, unmistakable under any star system's light. Inside, the corridors hummed with urgent activity. Medical staff in white uniforms rushed between treatment stations, their faces masks of concentration as they tended to both military personnel and civilian refugees from the border conflicts. Colonel Darius Cole sat motionless on the examination table, electrodes attached to his temples. His muscular frame seemed diminished somehow, shoulders hunched as if carrying an invisible weight. Through the viewport beside him, he could see the distant flare of weapon exchanges on the planet below, brief flashes like angry fireflies. "Almost done, Colonel," said Dr. Naomi Leong, her slender fingers adjusting the settings on the neural integration device. Her eyes, dark and perceptive, studied the readouts with careful attention. "The scans show your amygdala response is still heightened. The Proxima Centauri incident has left deeper imprints than we initially thought." Cole's jaw tightened. "You mean I'm still broken?" "I mean you're still healing," she corrected gently. "Neural integration therapy isn't instantaneous, especially for complex traumatic experiences like yours. Most soldiers don't survive what you did on that border planet." Cole closed his eyes, but that only made the images sharper. The screams of his platoon as the ambush tore through their ranks, the acrid smell of burning flesh as the plasma rounds ignited the atmosphere. His hands clenched involuntarily. "Try to relax," Dr. Leong instructed, noticing his rising heart rate on the monitor. "Remember, the neural implant learns from your responses. Tension creates feedback loops that—" An alarm blared suddenly, cutting her off. The lights in the medical bay flickered, then shifted to emergency red. "What the hell?" Cole sat up, yanking the electrodes from his head. Years of military training kicked in, overriding his PTSD-induced anxiety. Dr. Leong moved swiftly to her console. "Something's wrong. The ship's defense systems have detected." The floor beneath them lurched violently. A deafening explosion somewhere forward sent vibrations through the entire vessel. Medical equipment crashed to the floor. In the adjacent ward, patients cried out in fear and pain. "We're under attack," Cole said, disbelief evident in his voice. "But that's impossible. We're a hospital ship, clearly marked, broadcasting identification on all frequencies." The ship rocked again as another impact struck, this time closer. The viewport beside them cracked, a spiderweb pattern spreading across its surface. Dr. Leong staggered to the emergency communication panel. "Attention, all medical personnel. Evacuation Protocol Omega is now in effect." Glimpse of the Hypatia through the escape pod's viewport. The once pristine white hospital ship was now a broken, burning hulk against the blackness of space. As their module detached and accelerated away, Dr. Liang's voice was barely audible over the roar of the engines. "Why would they do this? A hospital ship." Cole had no answer, only a cold, building rage as he watched additional plasma blast tear through the defenseless Hypatia, methodically destroying the sections where survivors might have remained. The question burned in his mind as the escape module carried them into the darkness. Why would anyone target a vessel dedicated to healing and mercy? The mood in the United Earth Alliance emergency session was apocalyptic. Representatives from every Earth colony and allied world sat in grim silence as the holographic display showed the destruction of a UNHS Hypatia from multiple angles. The footage had been recovered from a nearby monitoring satellite and was now being broadcast across every planet in the Alliance. Admiral Inessa Volkov stood at the central podium, her tall frame rigid with controlled fury. Her silver-streaked hair was pulled back in a severe bun, enhancing the sharp angles of her face. "The death toll currently stands at 347 medical personnel and patients," she stated, her Russian accent more pronounced under the stress, "including 42 children who were being evacuated from the combat zone on Estella 4. She let the number hang in the air. "The Dracos faction has committed an act of barbarism unprecedented in modern interstellar conflict." The chamber erupted in angry voices. Calls for immediate military action competed with pleas for diplomatic solutions. The Grather Central Council claims no knowledge of the attack, said a representative from the diplomatic corps. They suggest a rogue element within the Dracos. Convenient lies. Admiral Volkov cut him off. The vessel that attacked the Hypatia utilized weapons technology that requires central authority authorization. This was no rogue action. In the back of the chamber, Darius Cole sat in his dress uniform, still recovering from his injuries sustained during the evacuation. Beside him, Dr. Liang watched the proceedings with concern. "They're out for blood," she whispered to him. "This isn't about justice anymore. It's about revenge." Cole nodded slightly. He understood the sentiment all too well. The rage he'd felt watching the Hypatia burn hadn't subsided. But something about this situation didn't add up. The Dracos were ruthless, yes, but they were also calculating. Attacking a hospital ship offered no strategic advantage, only universal condemnation. "The people demand action," Admiral Volkov continued. "Our citizens are watching. Our soldiers are watching. If we allow this atrocity to go unanswered, we invite further aggression. I am proposing the formation of a specialized response force, utilizing our most advanced ships and technology to deliver a message the Dracos will not forget." The chamber buzzed with renewed energy. Cole recognized the shift in the room, the bloodlust that comes when righteous anger finds a target. "Colonel Cole," Admiral Volkov's voice rang out suddenly. "You were present during the attack. What is your assessment?" All eyes turned to him. Cole stood slowly, conscious of a neural implant at the base of his skull, the one Dr. Liang had been calibrating before the attack. "The Hypatia was clearly marked as a medical vessel," he stated. "Its identity was being broadcast on all standard frequencies. Whoever attacked knew exactly what they were targeting. And yet you hesitate to name the Dracos as the perpetrators?" Admiral Volkov pressed. Cole chose his words carefully. "I saw the Dracos emblem on the attacking vessel, but I've fought the Dracos before. This breaks their own code of warfare. Something doesn't add up. Perhaps you've been too traumatized to see clearly," suggested another admiral, drawing murmurs of agreement from several quarters. Dr. Liang stood beside Cole. "Colonel Cole has one of the most decorated service records in the fleet. His judgment should not be questioned because he suggests caution." Admiral Volkov's gaze hardened. "No one questions the colonel's service record, Doctor. But we are past the point of caution. Intelligence reports indicate the Dracos have acquired advanced energy weapons that far exceed their previous capabilities. The destruction of the Hypatia appears to be a demonstration of these weapons." "Where did they get such technology?" Cole asked. "That remains unclear," admitted Volkov. "Either they've made a significant breakthrough, or they've acquired it from another source. Regardless, we must respond with overwhelming force." The vote that followed was nearly unanimous. Earth would respond to the hospital ship attack with military action. Only a small minority voiced concerns about escalation. After the session concluded, Cole found himself approached by Admiral Volkov in the corridor. "Colonel Cole," she said, her voice lower now, less theatrical than it had been in the chamber. "I want you on this mission." Cole blinked in surprise. "Ma'am, I'm still technically on medical leave." "I'm aware of your status," she interrupted. "I'm also aware that Dr. Liang's neural integration therapy has been showing promising results for PTSD. You know the Dracos better than most. We need your expertise." "As what?" "A tactical advisor." "For now," Volkov replied. "But we're deploying our most advanced weapons system for this response. You've been pre-selected for the program." Cole felt a chill run down his spine. "The Ghost Ship program? That's still experimental." "Not anymore," Volkov said firmly. "The Fleet of Fury will be the first full deployment of neural integrated combat vessels. And you, Colonel Cole, are going to help us deliver Earth's response to those who believe they can bomb our hospital ships with impunity." As Volkov walked away, Dr. Liang approached with concern etched on her features. "What did she want?" she asked. "She want me to join the retaliation force," Cole replied, still processing the implications. "Using the neural integration tech." Dr. Liang's expression darkened. "Darius, that technology was designed to help heal trauma, not to create more efficient killers. The neural links are still experimental. We don't know the long-term effects of using them for combat. I know, Cole said quietly, but if I don't go, someone else will. Someone who might not question why a faction known for military honor would suddenly attack a hospital ship. And if the implant affects your judgment, if it interfaces with your PTSD in ways we can't predict. Cole had no answer for that. As they walked toward the shuttle bay, public screens everywhere showed the same images: the burning Hypatia, grieving families, and a new fleet being assembled. The message was clear. Earth would not show mercy to those who had shown none. The research facility on Titan was a stark contrast to the public face of Earth's military. While the propaganda broadcast showed gleaming warships and determined soldiers, the reality of the NeuroNet program was far more clinical and disturbing. Cole walked through the sterile white corridor, escorted by security personnel. Dr. Liang had insisted on accompanying him, citing her role as his treating physician. In truth, Cole was grateful for her presence. The facility made his skin crawl. Most people don't realize how far the neural integration program has progressed, Dr. Liang whispered as they passed a window overlooking a training area. Inside, soldiers with visible implants at the bases of their skulls practiced combat maneuvers with a synchronicity that seemed almost inhuman. These were all wounded veterans? Cole asked, noting the prosthetic limbs and other visible signs of previous injuries on many of the trainees. Yes, Dr. Liang confirmed. The original purpose was rehabilitation, using neural implants to help injured soldiers regain mobility and function. But the military saw other applications. They reached the central laboratory where a team of scientists awaited them. In the center of the room stood a neural integration chair, similar to the one Cole had used for his therapy sessions, but far more elaborate, with multiple connection points and monitoring systems. Colonel Cole greeted a severe-looking woman in a lab coat. I'm Dr. Verity Holt, Chief of Neural Warfare Development. We're pleased you've agreed to join the Ghost Ship program. I haven't agreed to anything yet, Cole corrected her. I'm here to understand what's being proposed. Dr. Holt smiled thinly. Of course. She gestured to a large display on the wall, which activated to show a sleek, predatory-looking spacecraft. Unlike traditional military vessels, it had no visible bridge or crew compartments. This is the NSV Nemesis, the first of our Ghost ships. No pilots, no crew quarters, no life support systems. Just pure combat capability controlled entirely through neural interface. You're turning people into starships, Dr. Liang said, unable to keep the disapproval from her voice. We're evolving beyond the limitations of traditional combat, Dr. Holt countered. A neural integrated pilot doesn't just control the ship, they become the ship. Reaction times are measured in microseconds, not seconds. Combat effectiveness increases by orders of magnitude. Cole studied the specifications scrolling beside the image. The weapons systems. State of the art. Dr. Holt confirmed with evident pride. Energy weapons comparable to those used against the Hypatia. We believe the Dracos somehow acquired similar technology. So we're fighting fire with fire, Cole mused. Better, Dr. Holt replied. Our neural integration is more advanced. The fleet of Fury will consist of 12 Ghost ships, each neurally linked to a veteran pilot. Admiral Volkov wants you to command one of them. Cole looked at Dr. Liang, whose face had gone pale. Weren't you telling us? He asked Dr. Holt. The scientist hesitated, then sighed. There have been side effects. The neural integration creates a profound connection between pilot and vessel. Some subjects report difficulty distinguishing between themselves and the ship. Identity dissociation issues. You mean they forget they're human? Dr. Liang clarified, horror evident in her voice. Temporarily, Dr. Holt insisted, and we made adjustments to the interface. The current version includes safeguards to maintain psychological separation. Cole remembered his therapy sessions, how the neural implant had helped him process his trauma by creating a safe distance between himself and his memories. To reverse that process, To deliberately blur the lines between human consciousness and machine seemed dangerous at best, catastrophic at worst. "I'd like to meet the other pilots," he said finally. Dr. Holt led them to a common area where several people with visible neural implants were gathered. Cole recognized some of them, veterans from various conflicts, all with distinguished service records and all marked by their experiences. One of them approached, a woman with burn scars covering half her face. "Major Elliott," she introduced herself. "Heard you might be joining us, Colonel." "Still deciding," Cole replied. "How's the integration working for you?" Elliott's eyes gleamed with an intensity that made Cole uneasy. "It's like nothing you've ever experienced. When you're linked in, you're not just flying a ship. You are the ship. You feel the void around you, sense energy signatures like they're sounds or smells. The power." She trailed off, then smiled. "Let's just say the Dracos will regret what they did to that hospital ship." Cole noticed several others nodding in agreement, the same fervent light in their eyes. They weren't just soldiers anymore. They were weapons, honed for a single purpose. Later, in a private consultation room, Dr. Leong confronted him. "You can't seriously be considering this. Those pilots aren't just using the technology, they're being consumed by it. The neural integration was meant to create distance from trauma, not merge consciousness with a weapons platform." "I don't like it either," Cole admitted. "But someone needs to maintain perspective in this operation. You saw those pilots. They're already lost in the technology, in their desire for revenge. And you think you're immune? Your PTSD isn't fully resolved, Darius. The interface could trigger cascading trauma responses." Cole rubbed the back of his neck where his therapeutic implant rested. "Maybe that's exactly why I need to do this. Someone who understands the cost of war needs to be there." Dr. Leong looked at him in frustration. "There are rumors, whispers that not everything about the Hypatia attack is being disclosed to the public." "What kind of rumors?" "That the Hypatia might have been carrying more than just patients and medical supplies. Some suggest it was transporting biological research materials." Cole frowned. "That's impossible. I was on that ship. It was exactly what it claimed to be, a hospital." "I know," Dr. Leong said quickly, "but the Dracos might be using such claims to justify their attack. And there are power struggles within our own military about how to respond. Some believe Admiral Volkov is using this incident to push through the Ghost ship program despite safety concerns." Before Cole could respond, an alarm sounded throughout the facility. "All Ghost ship pilots report for final integration. Fleet of Fury deployment in 6 hours." Cole and Dr. Leong exchanged a look. "They're moving faster than announced," she said, "because they're afraid the truth might emerge before they can launch their retribution," Cole realized. "I have to be on that deployment." Dr. Leong grabbed his arm. "Darius, if you go too deep into the neural connection, you might not find your way back." "Then you'd better make sure my safeguard are properly calibrated," he replied grimly. "Because I'm going." The void of space surrounding the frozen planet of Thule in the Corona system was quiet, peaceful. Then, like predators materializing from darkness, the fleet of Fury emerged from hyperspace, 12 sleek, obsidian vessels moving in perfect formation. Unlike traditional warships, they had no exterior lights, no visible command bridges. They resembled nothing so much as arrowheads forged from the darkness of space itself. Inside the neural integration chamber of the NSV Vengeance, Darius Cole floated in a suspension gel, his consciousness no longer confined to his body. The neural implant at the base of his skull pulsed with energy, connecting his mind directly to the ship's systems. He could feel the cold of space against his hull, sense the gravitational pull of the distant sun, taste the radiation signatures from nearby vessels. "Fleet of Fury, this is Admiral Volkov," came the voice, transmitted directly to the neural network shared by all 12 pilots. "Sensors confirm Draco's presence on Thule. This is their primary research and development facility, likely the source of the weapons used against the Hypatia. Your mission is clear: complete destruction. No survivors. No mercy." Cole felt the bloodlust ripple through the neural network as the other pilots responded with enthusiasm. Through their shared connection, he could sense their emotions, The burning desire for vengeance, the almost sexual thrill of wielding such destructive power. Commencing attack run, announced Major Elliot, her ghost ship moving ahead of the formation. Weapons hot. For the Hypatia. The fleet accelerated toward the planet, breaking into attack vectors with a precision impossible for conventional ships. Cole followed, his vessel becoming an extension of his will. The sensation was intoxicating, like nothing he'd experienced before. His ghost ship responded to his thoughts before he could even fully form them, anticipating his intentions, enhancing his capabilities. The planetary defenses activated, turrets firing energy beams, orbital mines deploying. Too little, too late. The ghost ships moved like dancers through the barrage, untouchable, their neural pilots processing information and reacting at speeds no human reflexes could match. Cole targeted a defensive installation, feeling a rush of power as his weapons systems charged. With a thought, he released a devastating beam of energy that vaporized the installation. Through the neural network, he felt the approval of the other pilots, their collective consciousness becoming a terrible, beautiful symphony of destruction. The Draco's vessels rose to meet them, conventional ships with conventional crews, suddenly obsolete in the face of this new technology. Cole engaged one, easily outmaneuvering its attempts to target him. He locked weapons on the ship's engine section, prepared to destroy it with a single thought. Then something strange happened. As his targeting systems aligned with the Draco's vessel, Cole felt a flicker of something, a presence, a consciousness. His neural implant, designed to form connections, had somehow linked momentarily with the ship's pilot. In that instant, Cole experienced a flood of alien emotions, not hatred or aggression, but confusion and fear. He felt the Draco's pilot's terror as clearly as his own, since the desperate prayers to alien gods, glimpsed flashes of family left behind on a distant world. Cole pulled back from the targeting sequence, shaken. The Draco's ship took advantage of his hesitation to retreat toward the planet's atmosphere. Vengeance, why did you disengage? Admiral Volkov's voice cut through his thoughts. Destroy the target. Cole struggled to focus. Something's wrong. I felt the pilot. They're not the aggressors we were told. They're scared. It's a trick. Elliot's voice responded through the neural link. The implant can cause hallucinations if you're not properly calibrated. No, Cole insisted. This was real. I felt their mind. They had no knowledge of any attack on a hospital ship. Around him, the battle continued. Ghost ships decimated the Draco's defenses, destroying vessels and installations with horrifying efficiency. The neural network hummed with the pleasure of victory, with vengeance satisfied. All units, prepare for final bombardment, Admiral Volkov ordered. The ion rift cannon will target the primary research facility. Estimated casualties, total. Cole scanned the facility and froze. His enhanced sensors detected life signs. Thousands of them. Not just military personnel, but civilians. Families. We can't, he transmitted. There are civilians down there. Children. Collateral damage, came Volkov's cold reply. The Dracos showed no mercy to our children on the Hypatia. A strange transmission suddenly broke through on all frequencies. Fragmented, but clear enough to understand. Earth forces. We did not. Attack your hospital ship. Rogue faction. Evidence of third party. Please cease fire. Ignore the transmission. Admiral Volkov commanded. It's a desperate ploy. Ghost ships maintain bombardment pattern. Cole made his decision. Instead of targeting the planet, he turned his ghost ship's impressive sensors to their maximum capacity, scanning all communication frequencies and data streams in the area. If there was evidence of who really attacked the Hypatia, he needed to find it before the ion rift cannon could fire. The neural implant surged with power as he pushed it beyond its design parameters. His consciousness expanded through the ship's systems, reaching out, searching. The other pilots sensed his deviation from a mission. Cole, what are you doing? Elliot demanded through the neural link. Finding the truth, he responded, as his search algorithms detected an encrypted data cache in the Draco's communications network. With a thought, he initiated the decryption process. The information flooded his neural interface: internal Draco's communications, surveillance footage, tactical analyses. There it was, evidence of a splinter faction within the Draco's military, one that had gone rogue months ago. And behind them, shadowy references to weapons supplied by an unknown third party, a party that had much to gain from conflict between Earth and the Grather Alliance. All Ghost ships stand down. Cole transmitted the findings to the entire fleet. The Hypatia attack was not authorized by Draco's leadership. It was a false flag operation designed to provoke exactly this response. "You're exceeding your authority, Colonel." Admiral Volkov's voice was ice cold. "The ion rift cannon will fire in 2 minutes. All Ghost ships are ordered to maintain bombardment pattern." Cole felt several of the neural-linked pilots hesitate, their consciousness flickering with doubt as they processed the information he'd shared. But others, Elliot among them, maintained their attack positions. "If we do this," Cole transmitted, "we're no better than those who attacked the Hypatia. We'd be killing innocent civilians who had nothing to do with that attack." Through the neural network, Cole sensed the conflict within the other pilots, the programmed desire for vengeance warring with their humanity. He pushed further, utilizing the most radical function of his neural implant. If the implant could connect him to his own ship and momentarily to a Draco's pilot, perhaps it could do more. Cole focused his consciousness, amplifying the neural link to its maximum capacity. For a dangerous moment, his mind seemed to dissolve, spreading across the neural network that connected all 12 Ghost ships. He heard Dr. Liang's warning echo in his memory. If you go too deep into the neural connection, you might not find your way back. But he pushed forward, reaching out to the minds of the other pilots. And then, in a burst of sensation that threatened to overwhelm him, he shared everything. Not just the data he'd discovered, but his own experiences. The horror of watching the Hypatia burn. The brief mental connection with the terrified Draco's pilot. The certainty that this cycle of violence served someone else's agenda. And in return, he felt their experiences wash over him. Their pain, their losses, their trauma. For a moment, the neural network became something more than a military tool. It became a bridge, a means of true understanding. "My God," whispered Elliot through the link. "What have we done?" The fleet of Ghost ships broke formation. Several moved to intercept the command vessel carrying the ion rift cannon. "This is mutiny." Admiral Volkov's voice raged through the communication channels. "You will all face court-martial for this." "We'll face worse if we participate in a massacre of innocents," Cole replied calmly. "The neural network doesn't lie, Admiral. We've all seen the truth now." Through his ship's sensors, Cole detected new arrivals in the system, Earth diplomatic vessels, responding to the unanticipated delay in the military operation. Word had spread of possible discrepancies in the Hypatia narrative. A new voice broke through the comms, calm, reasoned, familiar. "This is Dr. Naomi Liang, speaking on behalf of the Earth Alliance Humanitarian Council. We request an immediate ceasefire and the opening of diplomatic channels with Draco's leadership." Cole felt relief wash over him. Somehow, Dr. Liang had managed to intervene. The political pressure must have been enormous. "Admiral Volkov," the voice continued, "we have evidence that suggests the attack on the Hypatia was not sanctioned by official Draco's command. A third party appears to have engineered this conflict. We must investigate before any further military action." For several tense moments, the fleet hung in space, weapons still armed. Then, slowly, the command vessel powered down its ion rift cannon. "Stand down," came Admiral Volkov's resigned order. "All units return to formation. The operation is postponed pending further investigation." Cole felt the neural network pulse with a complex mixture of emotions: relief, disappointment, confusion, hope. As he initiated the disconnection sequence from the Ghost ship's systems, he felt his consciousness slowly returning to the confines of his physical body. The process was disorienting, painful, like being compressed after existing as something vast and powerful. When he finally opened his eyes in the integration chamber, Dr. Liang stood over him, concern evident in her features. "Do we stop it?" Cole asked, his voice hoarse from disuse. "Yes," she confirmed. "The ceasefire is holding. Draco's High Command has denounced the attack on the Hypatia and opened their records to investigation. It appears a radical faction within their military, supplied with advanced weapons by an unknown source, carried out the attack in an attempt to trigger full-scale war." Cole struggled to sit up, his muscles weak after the prolonged neural connection. "The other pilots? Some are still in integration, some are already out. What you did through the neural network, it shouldn't have been possible. The scientists are still trying to understand how you created such a deep connection." "The implant was designed to help process trauma," Cole said quietly. "Instead of using it to distance myself from my experiences, I used it to share them, to create understanding rather than separation." Dr. Leong helped him to stand. "The technology itself isn't good or evil. It's how we choose to use it that matters." Days later, Cole stood before a viewport on the Earth Alliance flagship, watching as diplomatic shuttles traveled between Earth vessels and Draco's ships. The investigation was ongoing, but preliminary findings suggested a third party, likely a weapons manufacturing conglomerate with interests on both sides, had engineered the conflict to showcase their new technology and create demand for their products. The Ghost Ship program had been suspended pending ethical review. The neural implants, however, were being repurposed once again, this time for diplomatic purposes, allowing unprecedented levels of communication and understanding between different species and cultures. "They're calling you a hero in some circles," Dr. Leong said, joining him at the viewport. "In others, a traitor." Cole smiled faintly. "The truth usually lies somewhere in between." "What happens now?" she asked. "Now we rebuild. Not just the Hypatia, but trust. Understanding." He touched the back of his neck where the implant rested. "This technology showed us we have a choice. We can use it to become more efficient killers, or we can use it to see beyond our differences." Dr. Leong nodded thoughtfully. "Earth society remains divided. Some still call for revenge, others for peace. That's human nature," Cole replied. "We always have the choice between destruction and connection. It's not the technology or the weapons that determine our fate. It's how we choose to use them." Outside the viewport, Earth and Draco's ships flew in formation for the first time, not as adversaries, but as investigators seeking a common truth. It wasn't perfect, and many questions remained unanswered. But for now, at least, they had chosen understanding over annihilation. And for Colonel Darius Cole, that was enough.